right, hey guys, welcome to another edition of the Fresh Takes podcast. Special Monday night edition coming your way this week. Here at the Finger Lakes One Studios, of course, I'm Paul Russo, and across from me, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, Nick Felice. Nick, how are you doing today?
Oh, off to an angle here today.
Yeah.
We'll Monday.
Switching things up.
Tired?
Yeah.
It's Monday. There's still football going on. And we got a busy weekend ahead of us that we will discuss later in the show.
We will. We got a lot of fun stuff to discuss. A little bit of this will be a sport-wise, a college-dominated discussion, which is all right. It's the time of the year where the bulk of the discussion will be probably some collegiate stuff going on, and but like Nick said, very fun stuff coming up for us this weekend. We'll discuss that a little bit, and got some other main talking points. Of course, the usual NFL and NCAA football recaps of the week. I put The Walking Dead in the spoiler alert in case you haven't seen it yet. For the first little portion, if you haven't seen it yet, you can watch. You might want to turn it away for about 5 or so minutes, give or take. Maybe 8 on the long end to be safe. But we'll hit up The Walking Dead. Some big news coming out from there. Like I said, the usual NFL and NCAA football talks for the week.
Yep.
The Impractical Jokers tour. Shout out to the Felices for introducing it to me over the summer. I'm very happy. But we'll discuss their tour. It's hitting up Rochester.
Shout out to Paul Russo on the idea of going.
Yeah, thank you. They're hitting up Rochester on their tour, World Comedy Tour, this Saturday. So we'll discuss that a little bit. And like I said, college basketball will be discussed. I know we did our predictions, previews last week, but this is the first full week of action that counts, and not a ton of big games, but you have 2 major ones tomorrow. We'll discuss that a little bit, as well as some other games lingering that we'll need to discuss because of the given area that we're in. So hopefully it's a good show for everyone. And hope you guys enjoy. And like I said, we are going to go into our first topic, The Walking Dead. So if you didn't see last night's episode, you may want to turn away for a quick second while we discuss it. Nick, I'm going to pretty much toss to you first so you can kind of lay the brickwork of the season. I haven't tuned in really the season to watch, so I'll turn it to you first.
All right.
And we'll discuss. So give us the details, really, of what happened last night.
Okay. So, Rick Grimes, if you don't know him, he's a star of The Walking Dead, played by Andrew Lincoln. It was announced, we've said it on one of our first
Back in July or August.
Like our first podcast, we announced that he was going to be done this season. And as the season got closer, they said about 5 episodes, and it was 5 episodes. Yeah. Last night was his last episode for now, because there's a lot of rumors going on.
That's right. I did put that in our subheader because nobody really exactly knows, and given some stuff that happened, we don't know.
So Rick Grimes was stabbed by a screw.
Well, I think the proper term, not to really, I guess, interject too much, would be impaled, because it was.
He fell off a horse.
I'm not an engineer or anything like that by any means, but I think it's when they lay concrete, they have like those steel support. I don't really know what to call it. It's almost like a rope almost, but not really, because it's steel. That's what he got impaled by.
So last episode, he was stabbed. He fell off a horse. He was stabbed. So okay, this got to be the last one. They've announced it on AMC. It's going to be his last episode. What's going to happen to him? Is he going to die? Is he not going to die? Well,
talk of Comic-Con.
Yes, it was a talk of Comic-Con. But so as the episode starts, he has, throughout the entire episode, he has these visions of people who were in the show before, all people that he has encountered through his entire journey throughout this show. So he gets away, gets out of that, gets back on the horse. He's bleeding like crazy. Still not sure if he's going to live or not. The main important is, so they were building this bridge, and he wanted to protect the bridge. So Rick did everything he possibly can to try to avoid these walkers. Walkers are zombies. Away from the bridge, and he just couldn't. The only possible way to keep him away from Hilltop, which is like the headquarters, was to get him to the bridge. Took him to the bridge. People finally came. All his friends finally came to see him, but he was hoping the walkers would fall through the bridge. It was his original plan.
Yeah, the weight of the walkers would collapse the bridge underneath.
It didn't, so he used his gun. He saw dynamite. Boom! Shoots the dynamite. The bridge explodes. You think it explodes with Rick. Later, you find out after the commercial break, they come back. Rick is actually still alive, and he's picked up by this Jada's character, if you don't know her. She's an interesting character, with this helicopter, and they take him away. And the episode ends with a 6-year time jump. So Rick, they all think he's dead in the show, but they show you that he's not. And the rumor going around about Rick Grimes is that they are thinking about, this is what my brother Matt told me, they're thinking about making a trilogy movie series about what happened to Rick Grimes of The Walking Dead. That is a moneymaker. What do you think, Paul?
I think it'll get enough people to probably stream into theater. It'd be interesting. I don't know if they do it theater-wise or maybe some sort of AMC, maybe like a pay-per-view type deal.
It's interesting because the reason he's leaving The Walking Dead is because he wants to be more with his family. Mm-hmm. And if he really does want to make this trilogy, that's just more time.
Yeah, but if it's a movie, it's you're kind of cut and dry and loose of it typically within like a year, whereas, The Walking Dead, this has been going on now for like 8 years, and it takes up a pretty substantial amount of time throughout the year. Like you haven't typically seen much of these actors and actresses.
There it is.
Yeah, much of these actors and actresses doing much of any other work outside The Walking Dead. Outside, say, Norman Reedus had that one show on AMC that lasted like a season.
Yeah, that couldn't take that long.
So, like I said, movies don't take as long as, obviously, staying on a show for 8 years.
Now, question.
Yep.
Did you expect him to die? Are you happy he lived?
Well, considering the show lost me about a year or so ago.
But you were a fan.
Yeah. I guess technically am a fan, especially, obviously, like the.
So Rick.
What I call the mid-season stuff. The mid-season stuff was really great. Just really ever since they introduced the Saviors, where you saw like this potential to do like a lot of great stuff, they kind of, I wouldn't say fumbled it, but they didn't do themselves any favors the way they went down the path with different characters and that type of deal. So,
are you happy Rick's alive?
No, not really.
You wanted to see it end?
I'm not saying I want to see it end. I'd just rather have this definite feeling about it going forward. You know what I mean? Like, if he's saying he's not coming back, which I think he said he'd be willing to come back, especially to do like a more like director seat deal, maybe do a spot in a episode or something, which, okay, that's fine, but like, what are you going to do with him in a spot if it's like a present day type deal that you can't, it's almost like you'd rather him be in a flashback or something for an episode, like, rather than a present day type deal. Because what do you do with the present day deal when he's already said he's done with the show? The only way he's willing to come back would be a directing role, but then he also said he wouldn't mind to come back for a spot deal. So I'd rather have the definite closure, I feel like, of him being dead, as bad as that sounds. I'd just rather have the closure of it.
Mm-hmm. I'm disappointed Lori and Carl did not get a flashback.
Yeah. Well, it kind of makes you wonder then, too, what they have planned in store. Because, like you said, they have the 6-year time jump, and obviously I didn't see the episode, but I saw clips this morning looking it up, and the one clip I saw is where Judith is
Yep.
Not confronted. She more or less confronts that group of people kind of running away.
She's wearing Carl's hat.
Yeah, and so it kind of makes you wonder what what this 6-year deal is. I saw a picture of Negan in the future, 6-year deal.
He's still kicking around.
So, like I said, it makes you wonder. Then it makes you wonder back from the end of last season, I think it was, where they were kind of like daydreaming or whatever, and Rick's older, and you kind of get the sense. It makes you wonder. I just prefer the definite closure, I feel like, at this point.
Yeah.
So, obviously you watch the show, so moving forward for you, and the people who watch it, I guess, religiously, if you will, so every week, where do you see the show going? Because obviously they still got to get one more character here off the show for sure, and Maggie. So, do you think she's still around here in the 6-year future? Like, I haven't, really seen too much of this
Maggie
season.
is around in the 6-year future.
So, what is your bet then on what they kind of do with her at this point? Because you kind of see what they do with Rick. So, what's your bet
So,
then?
in that final episode, Maggie had a chance to kill Negan.
Mm-hmm.
She couldn't do it because Negan was probably at the lowest of his lows, and she felt like he was already dead because he wanted to go see his wife in heaven, and if he killed him, he would have got that. So she didn't kill him, and he's still alive 6 years later. Maggie, I don't really know what her role is going forward. I mean, her kid's got to be 6 now.
At least.
Yes. So that kid, I think it's a guy. That guy's got to be something. He's a little kid. He's going to be something. I mean, I don't know if they're trying to make these little kids in the show the stars someday. I'm not real sure. But it's interesting who's going to be the leader of the group. People think it's going to be Michonne. People think it might be still Maggie. I don't think Daryl has it in him to be the leader. He's a perfect second guy. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go. That's why I just watch and see. I would love to see Rick come back to the show someday because I liked Rick. I liked him a lot. He was a great leader, and it would be pretty cool, though, if they made a trilogy. That would be pretty sick. Moneymaker, like I said, and we'll see from there.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting. They got how many more episodes? They're nearing the mid-season.
3 more episodes to the mid-season
so
break.
I mean, you don't know what The Walking Dead. I don't foresee them killing off Maggie before the mid-season break.
No.
I feel like she makes it through to the winter session of it. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. So, hopefully, if the listeners tune back in that didn't want to hear the spoiler alerts at all,
welcome back.
That'd be really great. Welcome back.
Bringing in a new audience.
So, yeah, without further ado, then we'll transition. We'll hit up the NFL Week 9. Many people thought, I feel like this was probably going to be the fun week of football from a pure fan perspective because of some of the matchups. For sure, we still have one game going on now, obviously, with the special Monday edition here. So, pretty much I feel like the main takeaways from this week, you saw in the NFC, really, you got two teams that in my opinion, can really vie for that Super Bowl berth. It's football, so you just never know. But you look at it, and certainly the Rams and Saints got enough firepower. That game almost ended up hitting the over at halftime. Like I said, the Saints, I put it on there, and it's pretty much a true statement. I mean, the Saints outlasted the Rams, and it was an offensive battle.
The Saints are good.
Yeah, they were my Super Bowl pick. I feel pretty confident in them still. Brees gets overlooked a lot of times somehow, and here he is still performing. This was, like I said, this was the game where if the Rams won, I thought they were probably going undefeated the whole way. This was, I feel like, their big test for the year. So they did what they had to do, and then in the supposed battle of the GOATs, I mean, it was close through halftime, and then Tom Brady went ahead and did Tom Brady things, pulled away. Whether or not you really want to credit him or James White is up to you, but certainly the game there separated itself out pretty quick, and you can make us say whatever you will, but certainly you can tell this is not a Packer team that's gonna challenge. I feel like a lot of people thought. So, we'll see. Your Giants are on a bye this week, Nick, so not a ton happening with them.
Stop asking me about my Giants.
Sorry.
Enough of them.
They're a local team. We have to discuss them a little bit.
Right.
They were on the bye this week, so
them, the Bills, or the Jets.
Yeah, so they were on the bye, so not a ton that really happened with them. Odell did predict a Julio Jones touchdown. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. So the Saints game was at New Orleans?
Yes, at the Superdome.
That was a pretty dominating win by the Saints to beat the undefeated Rams. Rodgers never seems to win the big games. Besides the Super Bowl that one year. Lately, he's never seemed to win the big games. Brady seems to keep getting better. And a team to watch out for is the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, they're playing some good football right now.
I think so. I think Cam's a stud. They're usually like bad one year and then good the next year, and bad one year and then good next year.
That's where that division is, though, for the most part. And
I think them and the Saints would be an interesting run down the stretch here. Don't sleep on the Falcons, because you should know a little bit about the Falcons. Yeah. They played your Redskins this weekend.
Yeah, that game was not. If you're a Redskin fan, that was not a good game on many levels, because not only did you lose the game, you were never really in it, but we're minus 2 starting offensive linemen for the rest of the year.
Good news right now, though. The Cowboys are down 21-14 in the third quarter.
That's good news for me, eh?
Yes.
But, yeah, that game, I don't want to dwell on it too much, because but by losing Sheriff and I forget the other lineman for the year, that hurts. Trent Williams is banged up. And if they don't have that healthy offensive line, they're not going to be able to do much. It might be my fun year of football from a fan perspective might be over on the pro end of it.
Now, let's talk Monday Night Football, since we talked about kind of like the Cowboys division. What about the Titans? If they can win this game tonight, they'll be 4-4. I know you're a big Houston guy.
Yeah.
Are we counting out the Jaguars? Is Fournette coming back?
Yeah, he'll be back after the bye this past week. He'll be back this week.
Are we counting out the Jags?
Man, it's hard. They got to leapfrog. They're going to have to leapfrog, obviously, Houston and Tennessee.
What do you think of Tennessee?
They can contend. I don't know if they have enough firepower to really match Houston, though, right now. Houston went out and got Demaryius Thomas.
Don't sleep on the Colts.
That defense, if you're going by fantasy standards, that defense is second best in the NFL.
Yeah, Houston.
It's kind of hard. It's hard to. That team's really hard to beat. If you're going for a gunfire show on offense, defensively, Tennessee's kind of hit and miss on defense. They don't get any turnovers. But they'll stop you. They don't get too many sacks, but they pressure.
I did see that
they're not a star. They're not a star defense in the fact that they pretty much do what they got to do.
I did see on Monday night tonight they are number 1 in red zone defense.
Yeah. I mean that's why I say though. I mean they do what they have to do. It's just that they don't get turnovers. I mean they can't get the ball back for their offense like the way Houston can.
Yeah.
So, they'll contend. I think they have a shot. The way the North is now shaking out, I think Tennessee has a reasonable shot to get to a wild card game. Yeah. I can't see. I mean, the West is weird. Obviously, the Chiefs are going to win.
Chargers look good.
The Chargers look good like every other week, though. You kind of don't know what Charger team you're going to get. I mean, look, they were dominating in Seattle, and they allowed Seattle to come back. It came down to one last play.
The East is just the Patriots.
Yeah, the East is just the Patriots. The South, I mean, that's the thing. The South, you might get a team squeaking with the wild card, but
I think the North is going to own it.
Yeah,
I don't know if the Chargers have enough to get in.
Well, that's what I mean. Like they got a good running game, obviously with Gordon and Eckler, I believe the last name, that guy, and they got a really good two-headed monster running back, really, because Eckler's very good,
He is
and
good.
people don't realize it. But at the same token, Antonio Gates is a legend, but he's obviously on his last stand. I mean, they don't have a tight end that they can really trust like a lot of teams do.
And I think it's really going to come down to Tennessee, Jacksonville, Cincinnati, and San Diego.
You're buying into the Cincinnati thing again.
They're going to be fighting for the 6th seed.
AJ Green's out for at least 2
I
weeks.
think Baltimore and Steelers will be in.
You saw that news today, right? AJ Green's out at least 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know who they play, but they'll be fine.
Well, we can tell you who they're going to play because we're going to have to do our predictions here in a couple minutes.
Let's do it.
At the very max. I did want to ask you, though, one quick question before we get to our picks of the week. And more, it has to actually do kind of with the AFC East. We kind of discuss, the playoff picture for the AFC, but in the NFC, the Bears are starting to make some noise again.
Yep.
They obviously throttled the Bills. At the same token, the Vikings won, Packers lost. The Vikings obviously had an inter-division matchup. They beat the Lions. So do the Bears have a shot at making the playoffs at this point, do you feel like?
Yes, 100%, because I don't think the Packers are very good, and the Lions are very inconsistent. So I'm really thinking it's going to be the Vikings or Bears.
Well, I think the Vikings get the division. I would have to imagine the Bears get a wild card, though.
Oh, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Damn it, the Bears are winning division, Paul.
All right, prediction. A prediction that leads us into our predictions of
Bears
the
are,
week.
watch out, they're going to win the division.
Titans have the ball back, still up 21-14, by the way. Third quarter moving right along in the Lone Star State. Our Thursday night game this week is honestly a very good game. First good Thursday night game we've had in a while. Panthers go and visit the Steelers in Pittsburgh.
Like Carolina.
I like Carolina in this game, too. It's a short week, obviously, for both teams. I felt like it was more of a grudge match for Pittsburgh playing in Baltimore. Those games are always physical, obviously. So I'm going to go with the Panthers. You said you're going with the Panthers as well.
Yes.
Before we move on to that game, kind of remind me, Le'Veon Bell has left Miami, apparently, where he's been obviously riding around jet skis.
He's going to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's what everyone's saying. I don't fully know if I want to believe it, though.
Yeah.
So
He won't be ready for Thursday, that's for sure.
But it's an interesting thing to wonder about how if Pittsburgh gets a healthy Le'Veon Bell along with what James Conner's been doing.
Yeah.
It's kind of nuts to think about. The first game listed for Sunday is my beloved Redskins. They visit the Buccaneers, both coming off deflating losses.
Redskins.
I'm going with the Redskins as well. Fitzmagic is starting again, though, for Tampa. So I have to imagine he's probably their starter for the rest of the year at this point.
What about Winston?
Hell no. The Cardinals play the Chiefs. This one's got to be the Chiefs.
Yeah,
I don't see any foreseeable. So having an AFC East matchup. Bills go to the Meadowlands to play the Jets.
That's exciting.
You want to know what? I'm going out on a limb. I'm going to take the Bills.
I'm just excited that the Jets and Bills aren't on at the same time. At least they're playing in the same game.
Yep.
Give me Darnold and the boys. Jets.
It's really a toss-up game.
It is Peterman playing.
The Jets haven't looked good the past couple of weeks.
Is Peterman playing?
I'm expecting we'll probably get that answer tomorrow or Wednesday.
Darnold is due to win a game, and I think he can win this one.
Yeah, it's a toss-up. I'm going I'm going with the Bills only because I feel like, I mean, they're both.
What do you feel?
They're both turnover machines. I'm gonna go with the Bills though. I feel like this game's gonna be like a 10-7 game. Like it's not gonna be
very possibility.
Yeah. The Jags go to Indy to face the Colts. This is a tough matchup. You don't know what the Jags will really be doing with Fournette.
I gotta pick the Jags because they need to win this ball game.
Man, my guts telling me Indy, but my head's telling me the Jags.
What are you going with?
I'm gonna go with the Jags. I wouldn't be surprised if Indy won that game, though. It's really weird, but I wouldn't be surprised if Indy won that game.
At home, no.
Yeah. Battle in Windy City, another interdivision matchup. The Lions play the Bears. I don't see the Lions being able to bounce back in the outdoor conditions of Chicago. So
I'd love to see the Lions win this game.
I'm going with the Bears. Yeah,
they're gonna win because the Bears win the division.
The Saints travel to Cincinnati to play the Bungles. I'm going with the Saints.
Yes.
Yeah,
Saints.
you were thinking about it. You were thinking about doing it.
No.
The Patriots go to Tennessee to play the Titans. Part of me wants to take Tennessee. It's one of those gut things again, but I'm going with the Patriots.
I'm going with Patriots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Falcons go to Cleveland to play the Browns. This is an interesting matchup because the Falcons are another team where you just don't know what version you're going to get each week. Weather-wise up here in the Northeast through the weekend is supposed to be really bad. That being said, I'm going to go with the Falcons.
I'm going with the Falcons. I thought you were going to go Browns there.
No. I think that game will be close, but the Falcons have a little bit too much firepower, obviously. And,
you had the fans guessing.
Yeah. The first of the 4 o'clock games on Sunday, Chargers at the Raiders. I'm going with the Chargers.
I'm picking the Chargers. My last man standing.
Chargers. That does not leave me confident then with our picks of the Chargers. It's just that time of year when you in last man standings where someone's going to screw it up for like the remaining people.
I know. I think that's the first road team I picked.
Yeah.
But I like that matchup.
An NFC West battle. Seahawks travel to LA to face the Rams. I'm going to go with the Rams.
Why?
That's an interesting why matchup to pick for you.
The Seahawks had them beat. And they're going to beat them now. Not confidently, but
I just can't. As much as I want to take the Seahawks, I really can't.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
It's all right.
There's a lot of question marks surrounding that team. I feel like at this point in the season, you kind of. I wouldn't say that you fire Pete Carroll at the end of the year, but you kind of wonder how much longer Pete Carroll has in Seattle a little bit. I typically don't go
put him on the hot seat.
I don't go the fire coach route when things are bad, because clearly that locker room's in a, I won't say disarray, but with the whole entire Earl Thomas situation, the team's kind of fluttered a little bit, and you kind of wonder if a change of scenery is needed for a guy in an upper position, whether that's Pete Carroll. Maybe, I'm not saying you get rid of Russell Wilson, but maybe you bring in a prolific guy, like a guy who can take command of a locker room. Doesn't have to be a quarterback, mind you. But
maybe a new coach.
Yeah, I don't think, like I said, I don't think Pete Carroll's a problem by any means, but he's been there now, almost a decade, right?
Pretty long now.
It may be time that you do need to maybe switch it out a little bit. Maybe bring in, and it might not be Pete Carroll. It may be someone like a coordinator that you need to bring in. Although
we'll see.
Although I trust Matt, our West Coast sports expert, your brother, Le'Veon Bell in Seattle makes a lot of sense to me, anyway. So maybe that's what I think. That's part of the reason why is that they haven't had a rushing game since Marshawn left, and it kind of makes it. It doesn't make the team one-dimensional, but. I mean, Russell was always kind of on the run. I mean, so maybe that's what they need.
That'd be huge.
Yeah. But I'll digress from that. The Dolphins go to Green Bay to play the Packers.
I like the Dolphins.
I do too, actually, in this game.
I don't like the Packers.
Dolphins have been playing some really good D recently. The offense kind of spitfiring with Brockett under quarterback, but on the same token, it's not like the Packers are lighting the world on fire either. So
No. They're not very good this year.
I'm liking the Dolphins.
Tough stretch,
I'm liking the Dolphins pick, though. I really do. So Sunday night football, NFC East clash, Cowboys at Philly. Tough game to pick, actually. Really is.
Giants are on Monday night.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I'm going to go with the Eagles, though, for Sunday night.
Where is it?
In Philly.
I'm going Eagles because Dak sucks.
And then you alluded to it Monday night. The Giants are playing the 49ers in San Francisco.
Going the Niners.
Really? I'm going to go with the Giants.
Niners.
I'm going with the Giants in this one. I just don't feel like the 49ers. I mean, both teams are kind of bad at this point.
They are.
But I'm liking the 49ers. I'm liking the Giants in that match.
And you just said 49ers.
Well, I misspoke. But I don't like the 49ers are not.
Losing that 31 running back,
Yeah.
he was good.
So, yeah, McKinnon. Well, you're talking about the guy who broke his arm
Yes.
Thursday night. Yeah, that was a bad injury.
That guy's good, though.
Yeah. Well, he was kind of like their third stringer. But
He's better than Alfred Morris.
He had an explosive game. So, but anyway, with that in mind, we'll shift gears. We will head to the college aspect of football on this regard. Big week if you're a Cuse fan. This is the highest ranked we've been in quite some time. Really exciting to
best
see.
team.
13 in both rankings. Obviously, college football playoff rankings come out tomorrow, so make sure you check out the Finger Lakes One sports page for that when that gets announced. Yeah, they beat Wake. It was a pretty convincing win outside of, like, I'd say the first quarter of play. First quarter of play, they were pretty dead even. But, yeah, Cuse dominated Wake 41-24, 13th. We move up. We're effectively, if you look at it from a rankings perspective, the second best ACC team. And you kind of get that sense anyway. Other than that, I mean, Clemson absolutely destroyed Louisville. Bama rolled LSU. I mean, if you were a Syracuse fan, this was an awesome week. Dungy played extremely well. Senior night in the Dome on Friday night against Louisville. Seriously, if you're able to go to that game, go pack the Dome for the senior class. They've done a tremendous job for this program, helping Dino turn the program around here. It's definitely turned a corner. Yeah, I mean, guys like Dungy, you don't get a ton of them. Obviously, he'll probably get some sort of shot in the pros. Obviously not a starter level, but probably in a backup level. Someone will bring him in, obviously, I feel like, for preseason. Whether or not he goes draft or not, to be seen. But, Dungy's a guy who, to quote my brother Pat, there's a reason why a guy from Oregon goes to Syracuse, but at the same token, football teams sometimes need the grinders that Dungy is, and, we got him, and, it's been fun. Been fun watching him play. He's a fun player to watch, a bit reckless, which people like. Sometimes you wish he wasn't as reckless, admittedly. So, looking across the college football landscape at an overall perspective, though, at this point, you're fighting Irish. Nick played. They did what they had to do against a very tough Northwestern team on the road.
Northwestern made it interesting.
On the road. Northwestern's a tough team. They're not ranked but they are. I think they're leading the Big Ten West. I think in the conference.
They made a lot of money this year,
so.
having Penn State, Michigan, and Notre Dame come in their house this year.
Yeah.
I don't know if they won any of those games, but that Pat Fitzgerald, good coach. Good coach.
He is a good coach.
He's
another one of those coaches that have turned that a program around where they were either extremely average or extremely below average, and he's brought up in North. This is this was a Northwestern team that some people had somewhat written off for the year only because they expected a down year. Again, from the past couple years that they've had where they've been like 8-4. They didn't get off to a hot start either. They got really hot though in conference play. So
are they really winning the division?
I think they were like first or second out in the West for the Big Ten. Well, whatever they consider the West, because they have the champions and legends is what they call it.
Oh,
so
yeah,
but whatever they consider the West, the West for the Big Ten's awful this year. Nebraska's bad. Minnesota's pretty bad.
Is Purdue in that one?
Purdue might be, but they're like 500 in the conference now.
Yeah.
I don't think Northwestern's lost a conference game. I could be wrong though. But yeah, so for your Fighting Irish though,
3 more.
Another good game. Admittedly for them, Ian Book continues to really impress.
Northwestern is in first place.
Yeah. I think
Purdue is in there.
I think all 5 of their wins actually this year have been in conference play. I could be wrong though. So yeah, all 5 of their wins have been in conference. I mean, so clearly it shows what they got going on for them anyway.
Yeah, you get the point.
So, but yeah, the Fighting Irish. This is not to really foreshadow. I want to discuss it more next week once we get through this week with games. But this is the Cuse Notre Dame matchup coming up here next week. Not this weekend, but next weekend. It's setting up to be a very important game for both teams.
If there could be a couple upsets this weekend, it could be a top 10 matchup.
It really could.
Who would have ever have thought that would happen?
No, I mean this is obviously now both two teams where, not to downplay what either of those teams was. I didn't consider Notre Dame at the start of the year a true contender, simply because you didn't know really the quarterback situation. Obviously, they got figured out. Ian Book is a very tremendous quarterback. He threw for 340 again this week with 2 touchdowns. Dexter Williams ran the ball extremely well. This Notre Dame team's tough. I mean, this is Notre Dame team where it's hard to bet. It's hard. Clearly, I thought LSU was going to be able to beat Alabama, and they absolutely couldn't.
Couldn't score.
But if you're a college football fan that doesn't like Bama, Notre Dame might be your last hope. It really might.
I don't know, but
well, if it gets to that point in the college football playoff,
yes. Notre Dame cannot lose.
No.
They don't have the schedule to lose.
No, not at this point anyway.
Question.
Yes.
How will Boston College do against Clemson this week?
I don't want to downplay Boston College. I don't think they're as good as they're ranked. I really don't. They
are home.
I understand, but they haven't played really tremendous football the past few weeks. Virginia Tech was up on them for a while.
Syracuse is really the only team to give Clemson a game.
Yeah.
I think it's just sports. Syracuse has Clemson's number.
This Virginia Tech team was supposedly the second or third best ACC team going into the year, and clearly they aren't. And they were pretty much even or slightly ahead of Boston College for a lot of that game on Saturday. So, yeah it'll be interesting. Boston College's running game is really good as usual. A.J. Dillon for Boston College, 96 yards with a touchdown. And then they have another guy, Travis Levy. He went for 75 yards and 2 touchdowns. So it'll be interesting to see there. I think the big game, not to jump too far ahead for Notre Dame, you talk about, I guess, foreseeing things too with their schedule and looking ahead for guys, is that USC game is some intrigue. Tough. Only because this is the second time in 4 weeks they'll have to go out west, or second time in 5 weeks rather. They'll have to go out to the West Coast. So that's always a tough deal. But yeah, other games really this past week notable. West Virginia beat Texas on a last-second touchdown. Same goes for Actually, not the same goes for
West Virginia. That was a 2-point conversion they went for.
Yeah.
And got it.
Yeah. Dana Holgerson's got to do what he's got to do at this point, really. They're back up to 7th in the rankings for the AP and coaches, so you kind of see what they have to do. Georgia was able to beat Kentucky. They're up to 5. They might be also the last, I guess, maybe speed bump in the road for Alabama.
Washington State,
they did win. Squeaked one out against Cal. Like I said, Bama rolled LSU. That LSU couldn't score. Michigan destroyed Penn State.
Penn State had their chance when they should.
Ohio State was on upset alert though for much of that game against Nebraska.
Yeah.
As much as there was a not top 10 play for them, for Nebraska, the guy whiffed that kick was kind of comical. But anyway, looking ahead for this upcoming week for college,
it's game day.
I'm not sure where game day will be. I didn't see anything saying where they would be. I'm taking a quick scroll through the games to kind of see where they might go.
They were at Washington State that one week.
Yeah.
That was cool.
I don't know. I mean, they could. I mean, I haven't seen anything, so I could be wrong. They might end up at Boston College, 2 versus 17. Have they? I feel like they've been to Notre Dame this year already. I could be wrong.
Notre Dame.
Yeah. Although I don't see why they'd go to that game. Florida State's down.
No, they ain't going.
They might do Oklahoma State only because of the fact it's a rivalry game.
Oklahoma State ain't good.
They'll probably put up a fight for Oklahoma.
Where is it?
It's at Oklahoma. Oklahoma State is 5-4 on the year. Or no, they're 5-4 on the year, so they're a win away from bowl eligibility for what that's worth. So I'm not too sure where they will end up. I mean, I don't think they've been technically at Alabama yet, but Alabama is home against Mississippi State, and they're 18. I mean, that might be a gimme game, even though they just did Bama at LSU. So,
yeah.
I mean, Ohio State's home against Michigan State. They could end up there, but that's a 12 o'clock game. That'd be kind of hard to swing. Yeah. So some tougher, not good games to gauge this week. Really, overall, not a ton of ranked teams matching up. Obviously, Syracuse is home against Louisville Friday night at the Dome. Notre Dame is home against Florida State on Saturday, 7:30.
Senior day.
Both for senior days, yeah. So, yeah, that's college football for the week. And we'll discuss it again, obviously, going forward. Next week's going to be a big game for us. We'll obviously discuss it more in depth, like I said. It'll be fun.
We'll be talking about that Notre Dame Syracuse game the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Preview and a recap.
It'll be fun. So, speaking of fun.
Hopefully top 10.
Speaking of fun, Nick, our next topic is obviously Impractical Jokers. They are coming to Rochester on Saturday. The Crangies McBasketball World Comedy Tour. I really messed that up.
Well, they get the point.
Yeah, but
it's a joke. It's an impractical joke.
They will be at Blue Cross Arena Saturday night. Like I said, I'm really expecting this to be a fun event. I've been to a couple stand-up deals, and I don't think this is going to be like the others. I
don't know what to expect.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. I feel like you and Matt introduced me to him over the summer. Honestly, it's become one of my favorite shows. I can't usually watch the new episodes Thursday night, but I'm able to usually catch up either the next day or Saturday or something like that. So, yeah, I'm really excited for it.
There's not too many episodes that you're disappointed by, and I think, it's Sal's the only one I know that's even like a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, Sal's apparently the only true stand-up comedian on there. But the other three are apparently actors by trade in some degree, so it's going to be pretty good.
I mean, just the four of them in general, they're so goofy as hell. It's going to be funny anyway. They don't even have to really even tell jokes. Mm-hmm. Just the stuff they're going to do. It would be funny.
Yeah.
Them picking on each other. Probably picking on Murr, most likely.
I feel bad. Murr's like my favorite. He really is.
Yeah, he's good.
So
Who is your top four?
So I'm just ranking them.
Yeah, rank 'em.
I'd go Murr. I'd go Joe. Joe's so good because he's like...
He can't be not top 2.
Yeah. I'd go Murr 1, Joe 2, Q 3, and then Sal 4.
I go...
I'm not a big Sal guy, really.
No, neither am I. I feel like he's just a douche in real life.
I doubt he's actually a douche.
I flip-flop him.
But he kind of poses the douche, though.
Yeah,
You know?
I flip-flop him. I go Q, Joe, Murr, Sal.
Yeah.
It's just how I go. Sal just... I mean, but there are moments where Sal is funny, though.
Yeah.
There's like... He's pretty good. They're all good. You really just can't complain with them all, and especially when they're all together. I like to see them dribble basketball. That'd be pretty funny because they all suck at that.
It would be really cool because I know they're touring under their comedy group name, the Tenderloins.
Yeah.
They're not actually really touring as the Impractical Jokers. So that would be kind of cool.
They are in...
They're in
Albany.
Yeah, they're in Albany Friday night.
Might look on Snapchat, see if there's any videos of it.
Nah, I don't want to cheat that way. That wouldn't be fun. At least for me, anyway.
All right, then I won't.
So, I mean, you can. I'm not telling you what you can and can't do. I'm not. I don't want to be disappointed.
True.
Like I already saw this once. Not funny. So, yeah, it'll be cool. It'll be a new experience for sure. I know you said you've never really seen anything stand up. For me, I've seen some stand up before, but nothing apparently that they have prepared really for this. Obviously, not in a group setting anyway. So, it will be cool. I hear a truck really flying by.
The only stand up I've seen is Bert Kreischer at Kuka, my school.
So it will be fun. While we're on it here, and we'll discuss it because we got some time to kind of fill a little bit with it. What I know personally, my favorite punishment so far on the show, and it's only because I don't hate Sal. He's just not really my favorite.
Yeah.
Is when they torment him in the cornfield.
Yes.
That's good. And then I think it was him. Was it him or Q that they had drink water out of a New Jersey marsh when they were pirates? I think it was
Sal.
It was Sal. Yeah.
Murr helped out. They had to get Murr.
Murr was the pirate. Yeah, Murr was the.
I like.
So what's your favorite punishment that they've done?
I like Sal getting punished in the haunted house.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Q sniffing little kids' diapers to see which one had pooped himself. That was... I like cringe ones. I like when it makes you cringe because that's when it's really a good punishment. I don't know.
I just realized another good one too. Although it's not fully my favorite because it kind of slightly grosses me out to a degree. Is when they shave Q's head.
That was a big part.
And they used the hair as Murr's wig. They asked over the whole year.
Yes.
That one was pretty good.
Then there was the one where Q, it was a mime. He got handcuffed to a mime for 24 hours.
Oh,
that he had to sleep with him. It was bad.
How's that?
That was the longest punishment.
How can it possibly be any fun for them?
Yeah, then I think the mime says something after. He's doesn't talk the entire time. But how much is it for people if they're interested?
I believe last time I saw tickets was when I ordered them, so they were $52.50 last time I saw them. So
maybe we'll see you there.
Hopefully, if you somehow do see us, we'll be going with friends of the show, as we call them.
Actually, they've both been on the show.
They've both been on the show. Friends of the show.
Not Pat.
Josh and Matt will be with us.
Yeah, they've both been on the show.
Yeah, come up. If for whatever reason you are there and you see us, come up. We'll say hi. Yep. Nick doesn't bite.
Sign some autographs.
So
it should be a good time.
Speaking of autographs and the fact that you can't do anything with them if you're an NCAA athlete, the college basketball season is officially revving up tomorrow night. The Champions Classic is obviously the big start for college basketball. Many teams others also start tomorrow. Cuse opens up against Eastern Washington tomorrow. My scouting report for that game is the only thing I know about Eastern Washington is the fact that they have a red turf football field. And Cuse basketball is ranked lower than Cuse football. So,
really,
yeah.
Has that ever happened?
Well, I was discussing with my boss Jim Spina today about that. The last time that he thinks it happened was probably 1987, at the very least, because that was the year that McPherson was or not McPherson. Well, McPherson was the quarterback, and then you had Coach Mack, and that team was top 5 ranked through much of the year, and obviously I wasn't around for it. Neither were you. So we have to reserve judgment to our elders on that one. But yeah, he thinks it's 87. That was probably the last time it happened. So
Wow.
But yeah, so college basketball, like I said, the Champions Classic is tomorrow. First matchup is Michigan State against Kansas.
If you really care.
And then the nightcap game is Duke, Kentucky.
The first college basketball game for D1 tomorrow is at 12:30 in the afternoon.
Is tomorrow the official day they're doing the 24 hours or however
No,
they do
I
it?
think that's week 2.
Okay.
But it could be.
What you got for us though? 12:30.
But the first ever college basketball game of the season is at 12:30 in the afternoon on ESPN Plus. If you're interested, Green Bay is hosting Wisconsin Lutheran.
Ooh.
They are not D1. So who you got in that game, Paul? Wisconsin Lutheran or Green Bay?
Well, I like Green Bay. They're a tough team. Green Bay, I think, was that one women's team that upset Tennessee that one year or whatever.
They might have been.
But yeah, tremendous matchup. Both with in-state Wisconsin rivals. Give me Wisconsin, Green Bay.
Okay. It's Wisconsin Lutheran versus Green Bay.
Well, I think it's Wisconsin. I don't know. It probably is straight up Green Bay. Either way, give me Green Bay.
You like Green Bay at home?
I like Green Bay at home.
Okay, that's a good start to Green Bay.
Where's the headgear pick? I need the headgear.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of games tomorrow all over the network. But one that really cracks my eye.
What you got? By the way, camera's on you.
Citadel at Clemson.
Interesting.
I think that's Citadel in an upset.
Wow.
No, but I do love college basketball. It's my favorite. Notre Dame plays some 3-letter team, UIC.
Yep, Illinois, Chicago.
Yes, not Loyola, Chicago. So I think they got a chance to win this one.
Go Flames. Yeah, they should. For the Champions Classic, obviously it's the big 2 big games tomorrow. Kansas versus Michigan State's the first game. Looking at it on paper, I'd probably assume Kansas to be the winner, but you can never count out Tom Izzo coach team.
You just don't know the first game.
Yeah, the first game is always weird to predict for basketball especially. So who do you like in the games tomorrow, Nick? Obviously,
I like Syracuse. I like Notre Dame.
I was talking specifically for the Champions Classic, but thank you.
I was giving those picks as well.
What about Wisconsin Lutheran Green Bay, though?
I got Wisconsin Lutheran
All right.
in a nail biter.
All right.
Gonna be March Madness in the first game.
Yeah.
And I gotta go with. So they're both at Indianapolis, these games?
I believe so.
I'm going with Tom Izzo.
All right.
And I'm going with Coach K.
Interesting. I think...
You're going opposite.
No. Well, maybe. I'm going to go with...
I don't know. I've never seen these teams play. Kentucky has a new team
I'm
every year.
I'm going to go with Michigan State. I'm with you on that one. And then, call me crazy. I'm going to go Kentucky.
You want Kentucky.
Oh, I so badly want Kentucky. Oh.
You're not a Duke guy.
Anything to shut up these people about freaking Zion and Barrett and the other guy that everyone forgets about, Reddick or whatever his name is.
No. You're sick of them already.
I don't get it. And the fact that people think they're always clean when they're not. Why would Zion leave Kansas with a 6-figure offer to go to Duke for free?
It makes no sense.
It drives me up a wall.
You're going to hate listening to Duke this year.
Look, I want to go to that game just so I can, taunt Coach K.
Taunt him?
Yeah. I want to, be, right across from him with a sign that says, I know you cheat. And then him just look at me in the eye. And then me just...
It gives you a thumbs up.
I'm probably if he looked at me and just I could tell, I might flip him off. I really might.
Yeah, not a Coach K guy.
No, he's a.
Who do you like better, Coach K or Roy Williams?
Roy Williams.
Really?
He gets down with the youth.
What about Coach Cal?
Oh, Coach Cal's underrated. He really is. I like Coach Cal.
What's another coach you don't like?
That I just don't like.
Yeah, is there any others?
What are you doing over there with that? Team that I don't, coach that I don't like. Man, I've never been a big Bill Self guy. In all honesty, yeah.
I don't think you have been.
Yeah, that's up there. Dick Vitale, he's up there too.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm intrigued. We'll see how things go after day.
Yeah, so we're nearing the end of the podcast as we always do. We'll be back to our regular time next week, Tuesday at 10 o'clock. Obviously, this week, Election Day is tomorrow. The live election show will be going on from 8 till I believe 11 with Josh Russo. So make sure you tune in for that here on FL1. If you're 18 and registered to vote, no matter your political party, get out and vote tomorrow. Do your civic duty. It's one of the great things about being an American. So get out, go vote, do your civic duty. Nick, toss over to you. Who are you shouting out this
28 to 14 Titans right now.
All
if the
right.
Cowboys want to come back and win this game, I got to shout out my Uncle Tom.
Yeah, Uncle
He's
Tom.
a Cowboys fan. Shouting him out. I know he's probably definitely not watching, but
My man Uncle Tom, shout out Jeff Gordon fan as well.
He's a legend. Coors Light guy.
Yeah.
But 3:48 to go. I don't think the Cowboys are coming back.
Not looking good for them. Not looking good for the
my
boys.
last man standing. A lot of people picked the Cowboys. But have a good night.
All right. Thank you, Nick. And as Nick said, I hope you guys have a great night. Hope you guys have a great week. Catch you next Tuesday.
Go out there and vote.
Yes, go out and vote. We'll catch you next week. Like, share, subscribe, download the app, and we'll see you guys next week on the Fresh Takes Podcast.